Hello. Hello.
Thank you Bestest Boyox for the tier 1 gift sub to Furry Cures.
Forgot to put on the leap motion, so I'm now like just racing through all my what's-mahoozy Discord nonsense. Because otherwise, no one really knows that I'm streaming. Alrighty. A ding, ha bomb, ha bam. Yep. And then
I refuse to elaborate because I don't know what I just said.
yeah, Blue never knows what they're talking about sometimes. The absolute audacity of them just, I don't know, saying that they think onion is like the greatest vegetable. I still cannot understand. Like, actually, not true. I do understand a little bit. I just don't understand why they would not consider the potato so much better, like, on its own.
Hello.
Hi, Jason. Welcome to the stream. Slowly getting everything posted and what have you. Dung, habam, habong, ding, dong, bam. Oh wait, no, that's funny images. That's not promo stuff. Where is the promos channel? There's the promos channel. Is there a... Alright, let me head on over to here so then that way you can see me. Hello. Welcome. Hopefully because potato is a starch, that's not enough of a reason to be like, ah, yeah, the potato is like fucking useless compared to the onion.
Squats.
Like the potato is still good. Hello. Hope your butt hasn't torn more underwear. It has not torn more underwear. That has not happened for a very long time now. Alrighty, let me get my squats in. Right now I am in like relative comfy mode right now. Stretching! Stretching. Thank you for the pie, Masonic. I love how my character is like constantly falling backwards right now. It doesn't know what to do. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. I greatly appreciate it. So yeah, as was mentioned in the Twitters, I got myself a new leap motion like a few days ago, and I was considering like how I was going to do all the whatsamahoozy things, the positioning and what have you, and Baldur's Gate is awesome. I'll get to Baldur's Gate shortly. Did I at least update the thingamajiggy so it said Baldur's Gate? Hopefully so. But yeah, where was I on my train of thought? Ah yeah, so I got myself the Leap Motion 2 because it was commented on having like a wired field of view, you know, seeing further away, and so far, like, I shared the photo. Actually, I can probably get the photo again and slap it on the whatsamahoozies. Here it is. Oh my god, why does Twitter have to be so fucking big? Well, this is hilarious, just having my Twitter, like... There it is. So... Oh, sorry. Hang on. That's my left hand. But it seems to be thinking I'm using my right hand. Like, I'm using my right hand, but the computer is using... What the? Hang on. That's probably one of the first thingamadiggies I need to fix right this second. Give me a moment. Because, like, that's my right hand. Why? That doesn't... Like, hang on a second. Like... Which system is not do? Oh, it's because there we go. Right hand using the right hand, left hand using the left hand. There we go. So yeah, that wasn't because of the leap motion. That was because of VC face checking leap motion and what have you. Any whoosies? Hi there, Kiaru. Welcome to the stream. So yeah, so I got myself the leap motion, and as you can see, I just simply got like the mount that it came with. It had like an adhesive tape on it, and I slapped it on the back of my existing Leap Motion controller because I'm able to have it put on like this GoPro chesty thing, and like already there are a number of This might be my mom. Hang on. Hello? Hi, Mom. I'm doing all right. I'm just streaming right now. I just started. That's good. So it was just ink was the issue. All right. Talk to you another time. Love you, Mom. Bye. Okay, so more good news. My mom got herself a new printer. I had to do some troubleshooting. Hi there, Rippa. Welcome to the stream. No, I didn't lock. I didn't lock. So, Mama Zeebs, have a good one. So yeah, that's my mom. So that was my mom, and she got herself a new printer. She was able to, hang on a sec, I can probably move this even further down to like, yeah, that should do. Anyway, so my mom got herself a new printer, and when I was on the phone with her last night for like an hour trying to set it up, and one of the issues is that it kept printing out like really like reddish sort of colors, which was absolutely incorrect from what she normally prints. She normally does the printing for like sometimes work documents, but more often than not, she does it for crafts and stuff like that. Because she likes making her own cards. Like she made one for me. Like she got like my mom's a very artsy person. She did studies as a teacher and such, but she has her skills in watercolor painting, a little bit of drawing. She hasn't done a lot of drawing from what I recall, but she likes being crafty. She likes making her own like cards for like birthdays and such, rather than, you know, going to the shop and getting one. And she does like this, like the last time she got me a gift, she got like, it was this like lovely like blue card with her own like little joke of stream, and it was like a guy in a canoe or something like that, like a water stream, and she was like, oh no, stream, and then it like had the picture of a computer, and then it had like on the side like a little screenshot of how my mom purchased me the Wave XLR. Like that was last year's birthday gift from her. So she likes making these kinds of things. Anywho, she got herself a new printer because the last one she got, it was 7 years ago. She had like this HP thingy-majiggy for like 7 years. It worked out really well for her, and she's like, oh, I'm just gonna get another HP printer because, you know, the HP Inspire or Envy that I was using was really great. I reckon HP will do another good printer. So she got herself like this $100 printer, and she got me on the phone to help her set it up and such like that, because she works on a Mac and sometimes she might want to print from her mobile phone. And the first prints were really red, and it was like, it made no sense. And this like kind of bummed her out a little bit, because like, you know, she put all this money into this really nice printer and it wasn't doing like any good prints, unless like it could do black and white, no troubles. But the minute it tried to do color, it was absolutely terrible. And I was like, I'll do some research and let me talk to someone. So like if anyone was in Whatsamahoozy in Gore Flem's chat, they would have noticed that I like, you know, sort of came in there with my grievance of like, oh no, my mom got this printer and it wasn't doing this thing, and so Gore Flem was like, hey, maybe it's the ink, or like, do you need to clear the printer head or something? So there was all this discussion there, and so yeah, just off the phone now, and it turns out that it was a case that the printer ink that she got had no blue in it. So she got herself some new printer ink, and that's working out perfectly fine. So no issues with the printer, which is great. All right, let me delete that thingamadoogies. Your front door? I can't get in. No, what front door? Did you lock your front door? I can't. Oh, okay. I was so confused because it was like split into two messages, and I was just like, what? So yeah. So now she's able to do the arts and crafts that she's wanted to do, which is great. And yeah, and then she just wanted to make sure I was still. Oh, Code's new PC. Let's see, deep cool mid case. Yeah. AMD B550, that's good. Ooh, 5800. That's a really good CPU. You're cuz I'm like, are you sure you're not 5900 Code? Cuz like I don't know about 58, but 5900 is definitely there, cuz let's see, 8 core, 16 threads. That's a good number of threads. 650 watts, that's okay. A 4070 Ti is pretty good. You got 1 terabyte of NVMe SSD and then a secondary 4. That is pretty cool that you have like a 4 terabyte secondary SSD. Because like solid state drives are slowly like going down in price, which is really great. There isn't a lot of hard drives out there, however, that are, you know, bigger than 2 terabytes normally. So we haven't yet got to like, you know, really dense solid states. We're getting there. So it's good that you're able to get a 4070 Ti shot. It's okay. 5800X. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, small difference. You approve of all but the CPU, the PSU? The PSU is fine. Like, the PSU is, like, sure, you need to make sure you have, like, the PSU to be able to do, to be able to, like, to run your hard drives, your GPU. Like, everything there so far should be it's fine. Like, Abaddon, to put in perspective, I'm running a cookie for Kiaru. I'm running a 5950X with a 3090, and I only have like I think an 850 watt GPU or CPU. No, I have I should have an 850 watt PSU. 650 will do it, yeah, but no expansion. Well, it will do it, and you know, solid states aren't usually that big of a power guzzler. So yeah, no, Code has a decent build. He's running off a 4070 Ti as well, which is a fairly like decent sort of guzzler, fairly decent for power. Now, it's not like my 3090, but the reason for my 3090 is because that is more of a workhorse for 3D graphic usage, not video game usage. Code still has a really good CPU for GPU. I keep missing up the fucking letters. CPU is good. It has a lot of cores. You can do the diversity thing. And from what you've told me, you're keeping the original PC. So then that way you can have your streaming PC doing all the transcoding and all that kind of such. And, you know, sending it over to Twitch and shit.
Smash.
Meanwhile, the newer PC you've got right now, that one is going to be for exclusively video games. How dare you bonk me, furry Qers, after I'm doing so hard trying to like engage with the chat, engage with Code and Abaddon. Hi Kiaru again. Hello again. You sent the hello thingy madoogies. So yeah, and I haven't even like announced in all the different places that I'm doing my thing. I haven't announced everywhere that I'm doing my thing. Excuse me, nose. No, all right, cool. All right, hopefully I should be able to just run Baldur's Gate, and then if I swap over to the other screen, it should be totally fine. My goodness, my robot Zeebs has got a lot of kills in there. You was going to say, you know Baldur's Gate 3 is already out on early access? Yes, I know Baldur's Gate 3 is out on early access.
That is what we call a skill
It costs
issue.
the same to get it in early access as opposed to getting it on release. I'm kind of hopeful that on release there's going to be like maybe a little bit of a classic 10% discount from Steam. So then that way I'm not like, you know, paying full price. Like, I just wasn't interested in playing it during early access at this point. It's only $60 at GOG. $60 is a lot of money, okay? $60 is a lot of money. I have to save up money. I have to now like do the responsible adult thing and save money because my family wants me to visit them in the United States for a wedding in October. But yeah, you grabbed it on EA early access. Oh, EA early access, not EA Electronic Arts. EA as in early access, radio. I've still not yet purchased it. I've been a little bit hesitant of doing so. Maybe I should purchase it ahead of time to see if it is like get comfortable with like the different system of playing and such. So then that way when I join up with peeps in when Baldur's Gate 3's actual release, Code, you're in New Zealand, 60 is the New Zealand price. I have some random people in random places, Benru. I'm gonna be real with you. I thought you were an American. I am absolutely terrible in keeping track of like the different people in my chat and my viewers, and a number of them are like, you know, possibly from the States more often than not. Like what's a Mahuzi? Bone is in the States. Furry Cures is in the States. I bet you Abaddon, if you're there, you're in the States, aren't you? Where am I from, Grant? You are from somewhere in Southeast Asia. Abaddon just dabbing real hard. Yeppers over in the States, 4 a.m. gang. You guys should be asleep. Cookie for Temme. Welcome to the stream, Temme. I saw you in the gaming wanted to pop in, but I was too shy. That's okay. Because I had to be working from 7 a.m. till 3 p.m. for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And so one of the things I've sort of done, because I work from home for that shift, is I will go and I will brain, think, try to say what you want to say, stop stimming. And
Grant, my finger slipped.
Oh, what the fuck did you do?
I saw 1,221 paid me to say I don't wanna sleep. You go suck a lemon.
You go suck. What the fuck, Code? Dear Grant, my finger slipped. Buckle up. Code. If I can't zoom in on... Actually, you know what I can do? I can move over to this screen, and then I will go Code. Hang on. I'll go Code, and then I will zoom in even slower. Code. Did you buy me Baldur's Gate 3? Staring. What do you mean maybe? I got the notification. It's on my phone. I proceed to hold my phone up to the camera as if somehow technology is just going to be like, yes, let me rotoscope out this entire person and only the phone that's in my hand. Anywho, squats? Wait, what do you mean squats? No one did squats.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't see it. All right, let me pause the loud, chill music in the background, and let me turn off the intro fighters. I'll just have it hidden like so.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alrighty. God damn you, Code. Your finger slipped. Oh, apparently your finger has slipped. That's actually really good. Thank you so much. You are most certainly, it's not because you purchased me the game. It's because we've done this kind of shit in the past. You are on my Baldur's Gate co-op team. The audio balancing of old games. How bad is it? Hang on a sec. I thought I fiddled with the sound. The ambient is very low. I've kept the voices at maximum. Music is the lowest. Movie is its thing. How often party members say their command words. Whenever is given a command, when it's selected and given initial. We got characters, subtitles. Hear footsteps caused by creatures. Nah, we're gonna keep that on. Character subtitles, yep. Selection sounds. I'm gonna go with seldom. I'm not gonna have it going off every time. You're fine. You just mean you start it up and they scream at you. Ah! Alrighty, so we got these two fuckers here. I think we need to head to the... Nope, where's the journal? There's the journal. Confronting Tranzig. From Malai's letters, I see that he had a superior named Tazok to whom he communicated through an intermediary named Tranzig. I should be able to find this Tranzig at Felda Post Inn in Baragost. Cool. Should be easy for me's. What race will you be? Oh, that's right. There's all kinds of races to choose from. I went with Dwarf in Baldur's Gate 1. Oh my gosh, Code, are you gonna be a blue dragonborn? Is that the idea? Who's this? Is this the manor house? Is this the dude's place? Damn it, it's locked. Where is the fucking mayor? Because Beirun Gaskill. I need to inform him of the situation so I can get my monies. Stream is good? Fuck yeah. Alright, where is... Belching... Maybe he's in the Belching Dragon. Let's see, that's a commoner. Nope, that's not it. Where the hell blew through with red fire dragon traits given by the sorcerer? Ah, someone has already planned their character for Baldur's Gate. All right, so that's. Wait, is that Volo?
my to-do
Like the Volo?
Yes, a tab. Another ale, young miss. I'll be sure to have your funds ready.
Greetings, fellow traveler, for I see by your garb that you do not call this place home. Sit with me a while and enjoy this atmosphere of fine fare while we recount tales of lands far and far seething. I have wandered with the breadth of Faerun, but yet have I to find such hospitality as that of a simple country festival. It is a shame that the festivities are marred by the events as of recent, though had certainly put up a brave face, do they not? You look confused, so perhaps you know not of the local trouble that continues to vex the most gracious people of Nashkel. If you had just arrived, I could, for the price of ale and an ear, relate what I know. Shall I tell you of their mining difficulties, or relate the tale of their unfortunate command of the guard? Damn it, I could have talked to this guy. Ding. The world is that all across the expansive Sword Coast, from the Cloud Peaks to Baldur's Gate, and ore shortage is severely crippling local trade. This is Volo. There's like he's written a book called Volo's Guide to Everything. It's pretty impressive stuff. There is no I in team, but there is many I's in fuck it. I don't care how big the room is. I'm casting Fireball. If you cast Fireball and I am in range, we're going to have words. It will be funny, no doubt, but we're going to have words. Fireball. Also, I forgot to mention, so one of the things about this leap motion that you guys will probably notice is the fact that the field of view of this camera is so much more. Like, for example, if I had my hands to here, the leap motion would probably lose the tracking of this arm and it would just drop away. Check this. Check out how far my hands can go. I'm still going. I'm still going. Okay, so around about here. So I can now have like my hands. Oh my god, I can do the meme. I can do the meme of like. But my hand is now cut off here. I'm gonna have to because now like look how far my hands can go. It's incredible. You might get leap motion later on. Yeah, so right now I'm using like the leap motion 2. The leap motion 1 is still in its housing, but it's pointed into my chest. Oh my god. Imagine the craziness of like having a second leap motion running. That wouldn't be useful at all. Cast magic missile level 9 all on you. We would have words. Won't enable my Vorny. Can we bonk Kiaru for their very specific horny phrase? Actually, I can do that. Let me see. I can bonk. I almost spelt their name incorrectly.
Becky. Limb smash.
Bonk. Bonk the green man. The word is that purposely by both humans and demi-humans raid caravans whilst ore reaching its destination becomes brittle and useless following smelting, strangely afflicted by an odd iron weakening plague. As though this were not cause for alarm itself, production at the mines outside of Nashkel has fallen, with the substantially lower yields being blamed on nervous workers. Mysterious disappearance of several miners have set the whole area on edge, where something must shift the balance to one side or the other. Would you consent to another tale? Oh, We have like a thingy-majiggy about the captain of the guard. Just let me finish my drink, and then we can carry on through the wee hours with our tale. Alrighty, so we got a bouncer there, we got a bouncer there. Is there like a time of day? Oh, no, it's saying it's the 8th hour. Like...
Way ahead of you, boss.
Where the fuck is the, Because, yeah, that's the manor's house. That's the shop. Is he in the garrison, perhaps? Oh, there he is. That's the guy we need to talk to. You have returned! It would seem I was right to trust you. The town thanks you wholeheartedly and is pleased to give you the proper reward. Please take this 900 gold for your efforts. It is a small fortune by anyone's standards. Thank you again. I also found this vial of liquid on one of the kobolds in the mine. I think it might have something to do with the iron. I'm no master of metals, but you might want to show that to Thunderhammer up in Baragost. He might know a little more. Again, thank you for all you've done.
Gorion would be proud of your
Ooh. Ooh, we leveled up, chat. Wait.
This group shows promise exceptional.
Alright, so that person hasn't... Oh, but she has. Okay. Let's see. No proficiency slots to add on. Cookie for Bookie. So you must ask, did you save Zan in the mines? Zan is alive. He's still down in the mines. Oh, Kiaru, Gage is also a Baldur's Gate expert. I'm running no mods. I'm running on like an easier like difficulty as well, and they're already like, your Thaco is too high on Minsk. Please fix it. Alrighty. Let's see. Pickpocket open. I'm gonna increase your finding traps thing. So then that, because you're normally holding it up. Hi there, Bookie. Welcome to the... Can we get a shout out for Bookie? Bookie does some... So yeah, so streamers to look out for. Bookie, Ripper... Actually, hang on a second. I could probably... I should really do this. I should really make this a thing where I should have like a group of... Like I should have like a group on my... in my streamer bot where individuals that are noted of being streamers and such, I should make it that you know, if they say their first words in the chat and they so happen to be a streamer, then it should also do a shout out or something like that. Thank you for doing the shout out there, Code. Cookie for Bookie once again. How was Valorant? How is the sweaty shooter? How is the sweaty fantasy CSGO? All right, I can move this over here. All right, so you're leveled up. You have no leveling up. You have no leveling up. Ooh. Oh, he's got protection of electricity because of a thingy-majiggy he has. You think Jason beat you to it. Oh, yeah, Jason did beat you to it. All right, so he now has extra proficiency in two-handed weapons. His Thaco is reduced by 1, and he gets an additional 11 hit points. Good for him. Meanwhile, this person is going to be very likely dead. Alrighty, Beirun suggests I take the vial to Therum Thingamadoogs. You're still sickies, though? You really hope you recover soon? Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. That's why you've been asking for the cookie. Alright, do you have your sling? Yes, you do. Okay, so that's the Moonblade, which only Zan can use. I really should have given it to Zan. Wait, which short am I using? I'm using a +1. That is a normal short sword. So... I'll give this to Imowen. So then that way she gets it, you know, in case of emergencies. You can hold on to a lot of our shit because...
Glug, 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 glug.
Alrighty then, sippy time. Sippy time, sippy time. Valorant was okie dokies. That's good. I have recently been getting into Fortnite once again. The FOMO was hitting me ever since the Clone Troopers thing. I am now like level 95 in the battle pass.
Bookie
must
Barwood
defend
paid me
yourself.
to say I wish you all bookie love and a bookie cookie.
Bookie
I
cookie.
love you,
That's
yay.
funny. Oh, I'm still stuck on FOMO, not homo. What's this? Easy. No points in all the other.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Neat. All right. So yeah, we're going back to like that place again because because we were going through these. Wait, no, hang on. It wasn't there we were, was it? No, I think maybe it was.
Way ahead of you, boss.
No, this. Oh wait, no, it is. Yeah, because this is how we got out of the mines or something like that. Because there could be people here. Also, spoiler alert, chat. I've been reading a guide to get me through this thing a little bit better, and to also have the chance to see if there's like any missing whatsamahoozy things I could pick up to help, you know, make my journey a little bit less painful is probably the phrase I would use. So you can see that it's collapsed. It looks like after going back into the cave, this is now impossible. The only way through the road would be from the other side. Okay, so that was because of the exit of the mine. And over here is a person named Lamalhai. You there! Is your name GrantZeebs? Hurry up and answer. Your answer better be the truth, for your life depends on it. My name is GrantZeebs. What of it? This is good. My companions and I have tracked you for many days, and I am to give you a message. You and your friends are to die. Oh my god. Your interference with the Iron Throne may have caused some minor setbacks, but die knowing that your actions were most futile. Gee, thanks. I wish you all a bookie love and a bookie cookie. Alright, hang on a second. You don't have any magical shit to do. You can enrage. That is a very big range. Wait, who died? Jesus Christ, that was quick. Where the fuck were you? Ridiculous, honestly.
Way ahead of you, boss.
How does this woman die so easily? Like,
Top
god damn
of my
it.
to-do list.
Ridiculous, this perp. Alright, so Zan's cave, that would have been the mine exit. And then, ooh, what's this? Oh, Jesus! Fucking ghoul, what the fuck? The ghoul says death. Jai attacks the ghoul attacks, takes 9 crushing from Zara. The ghoul is dead. Oh, that was fast.
Top of my to-do list.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Quick save that, so then that way is a level 1 mage. Oh, god damn it. Is she like just a really shitty mage? Is that it? Like, is she like not useful at all? Oop.
Not in this.
My blade will cut you down to size.
There we go. Friends. Well,
As directed.
she can't use friends. That's kind of hilarious. But yeah, like, Senses of a Cat, Destroyer of the Hills, like, Oh, her armor class is 10. That would do it. Bookie! Cookie! Cookie Bookie. Cookie Bookie Wookies. Bookie.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Cookie Bookie Wooies. Boogies. Poggies. I don't know the words that I am saying. Bookie, sometimes you do things to me, and I do not understand how.
Mages can't wear armor.
Yeah, that's true. This is why I don't play, like, if I'm gonna be playing a magical person, it's not gonna be a mage, it's gonna be like a warlock. She's a DPS, evokers have bonus, so evocation spells that require a save, such as Fireball, have a fire save requirement. Cool, so that means I need to redo her spells, because right now she has nothing but Identify. Alright, let's have a look. So, Chromatic Orb causes a 2-foot diameter spear to appear in the caster's hands. When thrown, heads unearily to its target. The effect the orb has upon the target varies the level of caster. Each orb will do damage to the target against which there is no save, and an effect against which the target must save against the spell with a +6 bonus. On first level, it's 1d4 and blinds the target for 1 round. Like, that would be, like, some of these things might be okay. Burning Hands, the last time I did that, I accidentally burned, like, because here's the thing, this is not turn-based. I understand, like, it's cool that everything can just go off like pew 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 pew, but the fact that it's all, like, you know, being done right at the moment instead of being turn-based for me to be able to, like, you know, because here's the thing. Everyone would like to think that D&D is about, like, you know, the bard fucking everyone they see, the cleric, Eric swearing abstinence, and then the paladin conducting, like, crusades and murders in the name of his god. Here's what actually happens in D&D. Okay, so yeah, do we know if they have any resistances to these things? No, I don't know what the creature is. Yeah, but, you know, if I do this attack, will it have advantage? Oh, okay, okay. Do you have a ruler? I need to see, like, the distance. Okay, but what if I dash? Oh, it's not a bonus action? Okay, hang on a sec, guys. I need to review my spells. I think could we, like, trail it back to when we rested, and I can change, like, the spells that I've readied for this encounter? I realize that's not what I wanted to pick. That's what D&D is like. It's a lot of backtracking, and it's a lot of math, and it's a lot of measurement. Except none of you are engineers, so you're all just fucking terrible with the whole, ooh, find familiar. Enables the caster to attempt to summon a familiar to act as its aid and companion, are typically small creatures. Benefit the wizard, conveying sensory power to its masters, and serving as a guard, scout, or spy. A wizard can only have one familiar at a time, and he has no control over what sort of creature answers the, if any, come at all. This may only be cast by the protagonist. Are you kidding me? It can only be tasked. What a waste. A grease spell covers a material surface with slippery layer of fat. Nah. Infovision. Nah. Minor drain. Drains the life force from a target and adds it to his own. Suffers 4 damage while it gains 4. Goes over his maximum hit points with the spell. He loses any extra hit points after turn 1. And that's Magic Missile. Armor. We're going to memorize armor at the very least. And let's go. Yeah, let's go Burning Hands. So then that way we have the chance to. Magic Missile is always a mage go-to. Yeah, no, here's the problem code. This is D&D 2nd edition. That Magic Missile there, you can only use it once. Or you can only use it for, like, the memorized spell slot. She only has 2. I know, boo. There's no such thing as cantrips in D&D 2nd edition. This is why people don't like it. This is why people just, you know, fucking cheese this game. I know how Kiaru shouts in all caps, I can solve it! Let me fix her! I can fix him. Hi there, Quatuxi? Please go to the friendly arm inn.
As directed.
Way ahead of you, boss.
The fuck was that? Hang on. Was she about to... Oh my god, she used armor.
Yeah? What do you want?
The AI has already used armor.
of my
God
to-do
fucking damn it. Of course she did. Alrighty then. We'll head north. We'll head to the Friendly Arms Inn then. Alrighty, here we go. Hi there, Quatuxi. Am I saying that correctly? Quatuxi? Alright. Here's where I start being funny. Entangle on this. And then using my bow, that is F3. Wait, am I supposed to be hitting her? Actually, no, but you can take it for a nickname for me. Well, no, I want to try and say your name correctly. Like, it's important to say these things correctly. I'm not gonna like fat finger my way through society and just be like, oh, the qualities. It's like, no, like cookie for bookie.
Quatuki.
Quatuki. Quatuki. Here's the thing as well. Because your name is Quatuki, if I wanted to do like a nickname for you, it could be like Quaddy or Tuki. But I'll go with Quatuki. I'm probably gonna fuck up on this.
Top of my to-do list.
I'm probably gonna fuck up on this one like many times over, don't you worry. Oh wait, no, I want F3 to attack her. And then you are F3 as well to attack. Minsk will be F4.
Full plate and packing steel.
Nature's servant away for the group.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
Oh, Jesus! Also, how do I make this window bigger? Like... Oh! I wish I knew that. There we go. Now I can see dialogue. Quaddy. Quatuki. Quaddy. So Quatty is Quaddy, right? All right, hang on a sec. I am going to wait. Left click, click on the thingy madoogies, and then put in the parentheses Quaddy. There we go. Should be cool. Alrighty.
None of better.
Damn it! You don't have any ranged. Oh, I should have given you the sling. Okay.
For the group.
And then you, meanwhile... I'm not gonna throw burning hands at you, but okay. Alright, and then...
Huh?
You got this coming!
That's all.
Alright, here we go.
For right.
No!
I am going to need to do... Alright,
Whatever they need.
No!
For the group.
Oh god, hopefully Burning Hands works.
They wish my ear. No rest
What you got for me this time?
So yeah, this is what D&D needs to be, is they need to be able to be like, it will need to be a little more turn-based.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Go for the eyes. So yeah, Minsk says go for the eyes. Imoen attacks. 6 damage, missile damage from Minsk. Spell fails on casting. Takes 6 damage. So Limia fails the casting. Takes 6 damage from Imoen. I do a critical miss. Here we go again.
That's why I like Pathfinder. It's got a turn-based mode.
Yeah.
Go for the eyes, fool!
Go for the eyes. There we go. Success. And oh my fucking god, so many people are nearly dead. A little bit insane. Alright, hang on. So, you can only hold on to 50 pounds, so you're not like our... You should be doing magical shit shortly. Okay, you can carry shit, so you are going to be our... This is going to be our man picking shit up.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick!
Ooh. Alright, so we got potion and magic blocking. Fire burning. You would benefit from a longbow. A mace. Oh, we got so much. Alright. Which one has the better lore, I think is the word I'm looking for. Where do I go to check? Okay, so his lore is 0. Mine is 9, 16. Your lore is 2, 5, 30. Okay, so Imoen is the better. Cookie for Bookie. Once again, they're playing with fire. They are playing with fire. Leather armor, that does not mention anything. Alright, did she identify anything? No, she didn't. Okay. Alright. You are going to continue picking up shit then. Inventory is full. Damn it. Alright, well. Okay, why is he...
Top of my to-do.
How do I... There we go. Alright, let's have a look at your options. So, Thaco would be down up to 21, 21. Alright, so you aren't going to be too useful. You're stuck. Oh, Minsk, that's right. Wait. Oh, you... Okay, you already have a short bow. Going to a long bow would be better. Then the Thaco would be less. So 16 on that. Okay, this can go to anyone else. Alright, and then we got the dead cat. I don't know why I have a dead cat. Alright.
Did you see it?
Did I see what? The cookie for Gaga. Thank you for the love, bookies. So yeah. So, okay, so when you get to the end, you'll continue the special what's it. Alright. Did I get the Vor mod in Pathfinder? Wait, oh, that's for code. So yeah. I would do a lot better if it was turn-based, but it's not. Okay, so... Okay, so she's still stuck. There we go. Alright.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh my god, Imoen is encumbered. She can't move. I gave her all this dumb shit. Oh, can she... Okay, so she can wear the studded and the leather. Okay, so... Oh, you're holding 9... You can easily hold shit. Wait, can you... Oh, you can wear armor. All right. Identify. Oh, damn it. You don't have the fucking scroll, of course. All right. There we go. And then we just rest for the hellsies of it. Just gonna rest. So then that way I can cast the identity spell, figure out, like, you know... Oh, Jesus. Fuck. I should have quick saved. I thought resting would have done the save, but it doesn't. Ah. Wait, can you remember spells? That'll be... No, I can't. You can remember spells, however. You can remember a lot of spells. To the inn. I want to collect that cool loot now, okay? What's Shillelagh? Cast a magical cudgel that has a bonus, something or other. Okay, cool. You don't have any spells. You don't have any spells. Let me just rest. There's going to be some nonsense. I'm going to get that cool armor and shit, okay?
You're a queer fellow.
Cool one, son. Butt kicking for goodness!
My blade will cut you down to size. My blade will cut you down to size. My blade will cut you down to size.
How is my luck, like, so terrible right now?
Cut you down to size.
This coming!
There we go. Yep, none of that was remembered. You will refrain. Yes. And thank you, Code, for, like, keeping... So, I know I'm not, like, a genius.
Whatever they need.
Let's see. Is she... Yeah! Now she doesn't have as high of a fucking thingamadoogie as she did before. Alright.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alright, now we go and... We'll go and do the thingamadoogie. So yeah, because I was wanting to listen to Kiaru's, like, advice and what have you, but I also wanted to, like, you know, just... what's the word? I also wanted to get my loot back. Alrighty. Here's what's gonna happen. I am going to do my magical thingy-madiggy.
Becky. Limb smash.
Aimed at them. You are gonna fire a shot. You are gonna fire a shot. Shoot fly.
Can I help you?
You are gonna fire a shot. You don't have the longbow yet, so...
Squeaky wheel gets the kick!
And you will... Here we go.
You got this coming!
There we go. Alrighty. So we should probably focus on Zila. What is Bless doing? What I think it will do. Raises the mal by 1. It raises the 15-meter radius. Okay, so you will do the blessing.
No less.
You got this coming!
Oh, I really...
What you want?
I was just being lucky earlier with my hits.
What is this? I do not feel well in no less.
You got this coming! No!
Come on. No! Yes! You failed your spell! Yeah! Alright. Quick save. You cannot save at this time. God damn it. You, madam, are going to do your spell on this person.
Thank you, for reminding Grant to save his word.
Cannot save at this time. Alright, give me a sec. It's probably when all this shit is still doing its thing. That is why it doesn't want to...
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Once that stuff... Yeah, while it's active in combat. Is there a way for me to, like, turn it off is the question. Because it doesn't look like there is. Any whoosies. She is going to pick up each of these things so that she can hopefully try and identify any of them. Which she has not succeeded on, so... Alright, so hang on a second. Let me just move this shit around. So you've got a little bit of room to do your, like, holding things. Alright, so... Alright, so you'll hold on to potions. Actually, you would
have need of me?
Then you grab this. The longbow.
Yes?
Would you benefit? No, you can't use the mace. You can use the shield at least. There we go, making the armor class even lower. Excellent.
Did you see it?
I am oh. Q. Quick save successful. Thank
Top
you.
of my to-do list.
Alright, and then my guy will just pick up these things.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alright. Oh my god. I forgot Imowen is holding all my shit. Alright. Give it to Minsk. He can hold all the heavy shit. There we go.
Huh? Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright. Firewine Bridge? Never heard of that before.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Never heard of this place before. Oh, wait. Oh, you're the one that's over encumbered. Okay. You would benefit from this. Alright, so 0. That would not do any good for the Theko. None of these would. So you're gonna drop the short sword. Oh, you're still, like, heavy as fuck. And it's because of the... Oh, you can have the Morning Star. You can drop that on the ground. So that does a 19. That's not as good. Yeah, that's short bow. So we'll give you the long bow. You're already wearing splint. I don't know the magical stuff here, and the magical stuff could be cursed. So yeah, because as much as I would love to just, like, throw... Actually, can you... No, you can't wear studded leather armor, unfortunately. Shame. Yeah, you're still encumbered as fuck. Wait, what are you wearing? Oh, you're wearing chainmail. You're fine. Why can't you use a bow, lady? Like, why is that something you're incapable of doing? Okay, so you can use this. And this. Oh, I can't... Oh, that's a shame. Alright. Ooh. Okay, so that's 16. That does 19. That does 17. We don't know if that really does anything worthwhile. Nothing really happens with the... An extra +1 to missiles.
Bukibawu paid me to say I am back now. Sorry, my tummy was being mean to me.
Punch it back. Don't punch your stomach. That's not gonna end well, okay? I have done that in the past, thinking that that would it's like, oh, if I do trauma to my stomach, it will, like, reduce the amount of fat there, right? Nope, that's not how it works. Is this like a DLC sort of area? This feels like a DLC sort of area.
Forever fallen! Always am.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Trask!
Way ahead of you, boss.
There wouldn't be a benefit to a Morning Star, I feel. I also learned the hard way that in the game, Dex doesn't increase the damage. No! You couldn't have told me that sooner? You couldn't have told me that sooner? I did so... It's strength. You're fine. Yeah, but I did so many rolls trying to get, like, you know, enough to put... If I knew Dex didn't fucking like, what does Dex do? Hand-eye coordination, agility, it is the prime prerequisite of the... It doesn't tell me... Cookie for Bookie. It doesn't do anything for me. I would have put that into fucking... I don't know, like, intelligence, maybe. God fucking damn it. Damn, I wish I knew that now. Dex helps with the AC range Does it in second edition? Does it? It better still do that. The fuck is that? The fuck is a Ben 10?
Hi, friend.
Most devout follower of the great broken Ilmater. I wonder if any of you follow the path of the cry. Why? No, none of us have worshipped, so none of you venerate Ilmater. Well then, we must rectify this event. Listen closely while I tell you the wonders that will come once you have converted to Ilmater's faith. Now, as you've probably heard, Ilmater is a god of suffering. Most people immediately perceive this as the suffering one must endure themselves. But trust me, the story you have heard...
Cookie Baldur paid me to say now I am snug in bed, warming up and watch Mr. Zeebs.
Oh yeah. How many pillows are in the bed? You should have 2 pillows per person, at least. It's a minimum. I'm in a king single in my place. I have 2 pillows. Also, I'm just gonna drink a Coke. 2 pillows, excellent. Fucking awesome. Alrighty. It helps with this. Find traps are improved with decks. Okay, cool. Where was I? The stories you have heard are most likely wild and unrealistic. Suffering in the service of Ilmar does eventually come, but lo, it is the most joyful of sensations and opens your eyes to wisdom. Once you have suffered in the service of Ilmater, you will have your eyes open to the evils of the world. Evils such as avarice, greed, lust, perversity, and most especially magic. By magic, I mean not the holy power granted by Ilmater, but rather the wicked power. Keep talking. All you have to do is to become faithful is to cast off your worldly possessions. You will wander the world and suffer in the place of others. You will spread the word as I have spread it to you. Well, what think you? Will you cast off your possessions to become a faithful of Ilmater? What you speak of is intriguing, but we just don't have the time or inclination. I tried. I hope that your young and gull aren't perverted by the evil forces of the world. Goodbye. Nice. You're not going to be a problem, then. Alrighty, the jovial... Actually, that reminds me, I should... Landon's house. Something... So we have an inn. We need to head to the shop.
Top of my to-do list.
Okay, so it's going through, like, where we've been previously. So, yeah. That's a great question. When we finish, we still have no idea. So yeah, welcome to the stream, Velk. Against your wishes and your wisdom, I'm playing Baldur's Gate, but don't worry. I'm playing it on the easy difficulty. I'm not so crazy. I'm not so gun-ho for this that I'm gonna be playing on like the hardest difficulty or anything like that, like for Ball or whoever it is. I'm instead going to be playing on an easy difficulty so I can get out of this as quickly as I can. And also because I don't know if I'm going to, you know, keep playing this game. What can I do for you? What kind of shop is this? I run an escort business. Wait, what? I hire mercenaries to escort caravans en route from Amn to Baldur's Gate. Right now, I'm looking for some strong sword arms, and I'm willing to pay high. It seems that one of the caravans under my protection never arrived at Baldur's Gate, and I need to know what happened. You look like a strong group of warriors. Sure, tell us more. I have been having a lot of trouble with bandit activity recently, but they've always only taken the cargo and let the caravan go afterwards. I've been catching flack from the family of some of the passengers of this caravan. After all, it was the job of my mercenaries to make sure everyone got safely to Baldur's Gate. Normally, I wouldn't give one damn about some stupid whiner, but one of the passengers was the son of Entar Silvershield, and in this part of the world, his word is law. So, do you want the job or not? Yeah, I'll pay 15 gold per head, as well as equally opportunity to loot any of the dead bodies that bandits may leave behind. Well, that's fine. I can always find myself some more. Yeah, Because 15 heads is like really fucking cheap. Also, I was hoping I could like sell my wares to you and shit.
I must rest.
Top of my to-do list.
I need to find a store. Like, there's a shit ton of inns around here. There's gotta... Oh, wait, like, inns are stores as well, aren't they? Even on easy. That is true. You have seen me, like...
Hey, you! Yes, you! I don't see anybody else around here. A little... There's
what do you
bandits. Need? Vicious magic bandits. They must have gone to
magic
a bandit school or something. They're trying to capture my hero. Now, where are the rest of your men hiding? I'll be honest. I was betting on you having a legion of soldiers because you'll need it, and oh goodness, they're here!
So, you would try to hide from us behind this unfortunate fool. Your cowardice proves as deadly as your reckless magic.
You're the one trying to capture me, and I still don't know what you want, so I'd rather not let it happen. Get out of here before me and my new friends decide to eject a fist into your mouth.
Injecting fist at the ready.
You there. Stand aside and give me the girl. Surely you won't risk your life for a stranger.
By what right do you want to hunt this woman?
By my right as a wizard of Fae. We must study her anomalous power, whether or not she comes willingly.
Let me guess. By study, you mean dissect.
You shall not be privy to my methods. It is none of your concern, and she is a danger to both herself and others. If you wish to die for this wild maid...
Away with you, you pompous creep!
Where did you go? We can't let her escape. Slaughter them all, and we'll sort this out once we find him. You got this coming!
There we go. Oh, actually,
As directed. I am really sorry about what just happened. I didn't want to involve you, but if I hadn't run into you when I did, they'd be elbow deep in my brains right now. Since you were kind enough to save me from those wizardly thugs, I was wondering if I could stay with you for a while. For your protection as well. Fantastic! Let me just get my... well, nothing. I'm ready to go now. Seriously? After all we've been through?
We haven't done anything yet. I just didn't want to pick you up, like, immediately.
When you're ready to apologize, you can find me at the Friendly Arm Inn.
Oh, neat. A gem bag. And... she can't even wear the leather armor, which is unfortunate.
I'll get right on that.
And we have no clue what building this is. Locked. Cool. Dun, dun, dun.
Greetings, mercenaries. I am Silky, Thespian extraordinaire.
Thespian. Alright, let's try an inn. Let's try the Feldepost Inn, then. Should be down this way. I just wanted to find a place I could sell my shit to.
Here now, get out. I don't like your type in here.
You tell him, Morrow.
Who's Morrow?
Top of my to-do list.
I told you to get lost. Ain't no room for ye trouble-making strangers. No need to get all bent out of shape. There's plenty of bar for all of us. Hey, I take whatever shape I want. I'm sick of you freakish adventurers going out, consorting with God knows what, and dragging your troubles back into my hometown. What do you say to that? I just do what I think is right. We solve a lot of problems that we cause, well, very clearly anyway. How about I buy you the rest of the bar around? I ain't your friend, you ain't mine, and it'll be a cold day on the 9th plane before I drink with the likes of you. Best ye keep your filthy dungeon money to yourself. Better yet, how about I put you and your dead money back in the ground where it belongs? You are going to... You're about to get fucked up, dude.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Hey, don't click me! I don't want any trouble!
I probably didn't need to go as far as killing him. Quick save. I probably should have, like, done it, like, unarmed. Yeah, that's just an autosave down there.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Run all the way around.
Some cheap beer for ya.
What do you have to offer? History of the Faithful Coin. +2 arrows. Nice. A really expensive composite bow. Bracers of defense. Chainmail. Reflected image. Deafness. Alright. We're gonna get rid of the jade ring. A gem and the thingamadoogies. And might as well get rid of this helmet. Studded leather. Agnimari. Silver ring. Topsider's crutch. And yep. Oh, you can even get like +1s and things from here. There's been a big flux of Flaming Fist in town. I don't know what all the extra troops are here for, but it puts me on edge. Noted. Rent out the merchant's thingy-madiggy. Oh, I forgot to set the lady's spell. God damn it.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Oh, hello. God, this is gonna be hilarious.
Seems to me like these men want a little trouble.
Why do you bother me? Can't you see I'm in a hurry to get out of this damn town? Stop you where? We know what you're all about. Surrender and spill your guts. You know what I'm up to, eh? Well, maybe something you don't know about is my magic skills. You might not believe me, but if you ain't out of my face in the next 5 seconds, I'll blast you to Kingdom Come. You, wielding magic? We can't suspend our disbelief that much. Come along now and surrender, or we'll have to hurt. We're not afraid of any mage. If you want to fight, then bring it on. Alright, first and foremost, I'm not gonna Burning Hands in the building. You've got something, don't you? Doom on you. Alright, so hang on a second. Everyone, except you, will do Doom. And I will use my +1 thingy-madiggies.
You're a queer fellow.
You're a +1 as well. It's just gonna be a whole ton of stabby nonsense. And this is going to be absolutely hilarious, the amount of stabby nonsense there's going to become. Death. Oh, now the spell decides to get cast. Casting Doom after I've already killed him. A letter. A perplexing as to... GrantZeebs. I am... Hang on a sec. I need to unpause this. There we go. Alright, cool. Spell done. Glitter dust will be yours. Alright, so you got a cool quarterstaff. Transic, I am perplexed as to why Malahi has not communicated with us in some while. You are to go to the mines and find out the condition of his operation. You are also to collect any iron that may have been stolen by the kobolds. Our next raid will most likely take place at Peldvale or Larswood, so visit either of those areas and track us back to our camp. Tazok. Noted.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh. I was kind of hoping we could all just... Alright. Nope, you're not over-encumbered. That's good. You just have no idea what any of this shit is. Cool.
Top of my to-do list.
Would it be nice if you did, but clearly you don't. Excuse me while I check all the rooms. Oh.
Yeah?
It's
What do you want?
locked. What a shame. If only I was a
I'll
thief.
get right on that.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, it's a zirconian gem, so not really all that useful. I thought it was a diamond. I will take the gold, however.
Huh? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Now, is there someone in here? Algernon. Hello.
What you want?
This is my room and I don't want visitors, so leave me alone. Okay, fine. Fine.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Jillian.
Do you mind? I'm off to go shopping.
You are the life of the party, you are. This all reminds of a time when Betsy and I were still... Oh, I'm so silly. I don't know a Betsy. Alrighty. Next.
Hello.
Hi there, Demon Sylveon. Welcome to the stream. Ooh.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Hello, courtesans. I didn't know you were here.
Fine-looking strumpet.
Too many girls follow the line of least resistance, but a good line is hard to resist. Oh, I didn't do the badunce! Why isn't the badunce working? Hang on a second, I need to fix my badunce. Why isn't the badunce working? Is the program running? Hello, Zeebs. Oh, look, 2.6 thousand points. Just enough to deem. You wouldn't, though. You're gonna save that money up so then that way, instead of the badunce, or instead of the D-himbo, you do, like, I don't know, the maid outfit, or holding it in just for a rainy weather. God damn you. God damn you. Alright. Ooh, hello. What's this? Ah, darn you all. Jovial Juggler. Not really worth. Alrighty. Homes. More homes. Alrighty, so we need to take this to Baragost to a Theorum Furium. Karan, Feldos, Landon, Red Sheaf. Why isn't there like an obvious... The Grand Duke and Baldur's Gate are sending troops to fortify Baragos and the areas around Am. I think it's because the heroes that cleared the Nashkel Mans reveal a huge plot, but not who was behind it. Lots of people still think Am wants to weaken the coast of an invasion. I don't know, though. That, I am not 100% certain, is the key. Cookie! Once again for bookies! Where is this dude? He wouldn't be in there. Alright, we're gonna try the Red Sheaf Inn if we can get to it. Lol, I love how, like, our party... Hello, Garrick.
Hello there. I have a pretty proposal for you.
I have heard that you're an excellent group of warriors and this really goes for Mishis. I work for the Silk Rosanna. She's the most skilled musician and actor along the Sword Coast. She used to play at the Ducal Palace before the month's done. However, she's been having some trouble of late. Some thugs have been hired by Feldopos to hurt her bad because she didn't perform at his inn when she was supposed to. You can't blame her for not showing up. What with a villain like Feldopos running the place, she needs mercenaries to protect her until she's ready to go to Baldur's Gate. She's willing to pay. What do you say? Sounds fair. Good. I quick saved. Because if
Greetings, mercenaries. I am Silky.
Yes, sir.
Greetings, mercenaries. I am Silky.
I am at your service.
I have no clue what I'm doing.
Ooh, you smell.
Wow, fuck you. Someone in the Jovial gave me a gold piece to come find you. Her name's Officer Vi, and she's with the Flaming Fist, and you needn't worry, she's real nice. How do you know my name? Everyone is talking about you. You're the one who saved the Nashkel mines. My mama said that even though we don't like those folk from Am, there's no reason anyone should have to suffer so. Could you tell me where that is? In Feast Hall. It's in the southeast part of town. Just look for a sign out front. I shall seek out the sign with the gesture on it and meet your friend from within. Nice. So now I gotta go speak to an officer. I'm on my way. Oh, it's all the way down here. Has any of you guys played like a D&D game before? Like pre-con or homebrew kind of stuff? This stuff here, not the fun of it. Yay, I got my muscles back. Look at us going in single file to get to this jovial jester. No, Bookie hasn't. Aw, shame. Real shame. Alright, get us in, please. In. It's kind of hilarious that...
Nature's servant awaits.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Can I assist you?
Ah, Grant. I thought it might be you. These southern parts are set quite afire with the talk of your work in Nashkel. I am Officer Vi of the Flaming Fist, and to be honest, I could use your help. I am honored to be found worthy of your notice, officer. How may I be of assistance? My contingent and I are cut off from Baldur's Gate. We haven't received new orders for close to a week, and to be honest, I don't like the feeling of this at all. The bandit raids have been getting worse since you returned from Nashkel. I used to think that they were just your usual brigade out to make a quick buck in troubled times, but not anymore. They're working for someone. One way or another, I've got to get my troops back to the gate. I'll pay 50 gold pieces for each bandit scalp you can bring me, and spread the news. I want this whole region cleared before winters come. Yep, sounds good.
Top of my to-do list.
We now have something worthwhile. Also, I need to find... Let's see, we got a Flaming First Mercenaries. There, and there. We got a guy named Bjorn.
Me timber's bad enough without ye bothering me.
Gurky. Oh, so everyone's heard. Everyone's a rubbernecker then, is that it? Old Gurky had his famous cloak stolen right off his back by a batch of Polstry Tesloi. Yeah, it's all news, and if you make one crack about the Cloakwood being an appropriate place to lose it, at least I'll put your liver on the menu. Now move on and let the next person in line have their laugh.
You want some whiskey? I got some cheap beer for you.
Actually, we need to talk to this guy because he was talking about like a place.
Me timber's bad enough without ye bothering me. I need a swig or some strong water.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Well, that was easy.
I'll get right on that.
All right, so Therion Furium.
Top of my.
So I need to find that fella, wherever he is. Why can't they just like? I am in the place I think I am, aren't I? Yeah, I'm in Baragos. He should be in this. He should be in this town. Why am I having such a hard time trying to find a man?
To-do list.
Is he in? So there's Officer Vi. There's Bjorn. Where the fuck is he?
Way ahead of you, boss.
Oogie?
Yes?
I can feel his eyes looking for me. He's a paladin, you know. They aren't right in the head. They just look at you and you being judged. Right do they have to do that? Why? What have you done to deserve their stares? What? Nothing. Nothing at all. They just look at you and you know that they're thinking that you deserve to be punished. I can't stand them. They're worse than the gods. He's threatened you in some way? Well, no, but I know he's looking for me. Why else would he be down there? Sure, he says he's resting and chatting up the locals, but I just know he's here for me. Well, I'm not going to stay up here till he's gone. Well, I'm just going to stay up here till he's gone. We should go and tell him to stop bothering you. No, I mean, no. Then he would know I knew that he knew I was up here knowing what he knew. He'd just have a good laugh over that, I'm sure. You're just strange, aren't you? Recent evidence suggests that a barrel full of monkeys is not half as much fun as previously claimed, and is, in fact, rather horrifying. Alright, so that dude's crazy. At least this game gives you a map and shit, but holy crap, does it not really...
Top of my to-do.
It doesn't really give you good direction.
Yes?
They did quite a number on me, those half-orcs. There's a band of them fortifying themselves in the mountains southeast of here. If you give them a case, that would make me proud. Cool, but not my props.
Top of my to-do list.
Are they in... Hang on. He'll likely know what to do. Therion Furium. Doesn't... Oh, god fucking damn it. Cookie! Once again for Bookie. Glad that you're enjoying it. Alright, well, the huge spiders are dead. Fuck those. Ooh. Some boots! Alright, Oh wait, you already have boots. You have boots. You don't have boots. I'll give you the boots then. Just so you have boots, you know, just in case. Nope, nothing there. Why would I need the spider's body?
Way ahead of you, boss.
Is there someone... The fuck? Oh, well, good news. She can level up. Nice. She gets an additional spell and Her lore increases by 3, and she gets 6 additional hit points. Yay! She's not going to die in 1 hit.
Way ahead of you, boss.
She'll actually live for, like, you know, a thing or two. Oh my good. All right, hang on a second. I am going to whip out the strategy guide. Turns into this room. Then leave. Go to the friendly arm in. This time, exit to go to. All right, hang on. J. What's his name? Vial of okay, so it's the vial of mysterious liquid. Control F. Vial of Tayro. Okay. Tayrum Furium. Where are they? Is one of the most skilled, renowned blacksmiths in Faerun. He can be found in the Thunderhammer Smithy. Oh. The fuck is that? Also, save.
Way ahead of you, boss.
No, my luck, it's probably all the way, like, over here somewhere. Because, yeah, I'm probably not exploring even half the map right now. Let's see, has this got any thingy-majiggies? No, it doesn't. Okay. Gosh darn it. How does anyone find anything in this town, honestly? Getting notifications on my phone again. Are they important notifications? Nope, they're not important notifications. Good to know. Is it something here? I'm just like going off of like fucking instinct right now of like, oh, the thingamadiggy like path does something there, and it's like, no, that just takes me into the woods. Fuck's sake. Hang on. Yum. Maybe somewhere over there, perhaps? This is me trying to find a fucking blacksmith place. Let's see. Am I getting closer? No.
Bowmaska Dog thinks you should do 20 squats.
Alrighty then, let's do the 20 squats. Maybe I need to like rest. I'm very tempted to just rest in the street, so then that way it's daylight, so we have like a better field of view. Cause, my god, how is there like, where the fuck would a man be? Alright, here we go. Big stretch! Big stretch for the big boy. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I serve the flaming
7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Thank you for the 20 squats, Bone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Fine, where is this Thunderhammer Smithy? My god, gotta keep your FEMA now. Yes, I get to keep my FEMA. Thank you so much. Where is this building? Like, goddamn. I don't see. Oh, there! Fuck's sake! There it is. Finally.
Oh, there, wanderer. Stay thy course a moment to indulge.
Well, now our paths cross once more. I suppose proper introductions are in order. As you will no doubt meet again, my name is Elminister. I have found nothing but tale of thy exploits in the time we have been apart. It would seem that thou art destined to have quite the impact on the Sword Coast. Quite the burden for one so young. Just doing what I thought best. That certainly seems to be the case. Thine actions are a testament to charity and free will, whether intentional or not, but enough of my ramblings. Thou hast a long journey ahead of thee, and I will not have my meanderings delay thee. I will impart one piece of information before I go, though it's hardly a surprise, I am sure. The bandits that thou dost seek make a habit of traveling in the northeast. With this, I will take my leave. Alright, cool. Thank you for the strange information. Come on, get in. Alrighty.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
I am looking for a blacksmith. Wherever the fuck he is. You must not rest here. You must either rest in an inn or outside. Where the fuck is he? Locked.
Top of my to-do list.
Nice. Oh, can I not carry shit? Okay, you can go over to you. You can drop this shit, because you can't wear any of this nonsense. That can go to you, and to you. Darts I'll actually give to you as well, so you can use them as... Never mind. Alrighty, yeah, I can wear the buckler. There we go. Donk. Hi there, Sky. Welcome to the stream. And hi there, Sir Dragon. Sorry I didn't say hi earlier. This is where the game starts feeling a bit of a slog. This is where it starts feeling a bit not up to snuff for me.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alright, hang on.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. P thingy. Memorize identity 3 times. Go outside for a quick... Oh, temple traveling.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Interesting. What is this place? Can I rest here? Hopefully I can rest here. I just wish it wasn't like this long-ass transition, because I have no idea if this is an indicator of a successful rest, or if this is an indicator of a rest that did not succeed. Oh, nope, it's a rest that succeeded. Excellent. Alrighty. Ding. 2, I'm gonna... Inventory is full. Oh. Glitter dust. Write down that magic. Alright. First one is the studded leather armor. Studded leather armor +1. Bastard sword. Bastard sword +1. Give that to you. So yeah, you're wearing only normal studded leather armor, so you'll get the +1. So now my Thaco is 1. And then we've got... Oh, a ring. You can check in on that. A leather sword, a long... Alright. Identify the ring. A ring of protection, ring of the princes. This ring and several of its types were originally crafted to protect the sons of King Castor de Wis. Though who uttered the enchantment is unknown, history records that the ring remained within that family for at least 13 generations, though they were all apparently lost within the space of one. Enmity between the king and the family of the creators may be to blame. Nice. Anyone can wear this. So 10, 3, 0, 4, 3. I am going to give this to you so you don't die so easily. Meanwhile, this thingy-madiggy, I have no clue about. Alright. Let's see. Oh, and this leather armor, because you have... Yeah, you have no idea about it, but we can cast an identity spell another time. Burning Hands, Charm, Infrared Vision, Sleep, and Magic Missile. No one else has, quote-unquote, identity spells. Oh! Oh, that makes my life so much easier. Okay. Jesus Christ. Open container. Now I can just, like, to the container, to the container, to the container. That makes my life so much easier now. Jesus. Alrighty. Back to the smithy place we go.
Top of my to-do list.
Top of my to-do list. We need to give him a vial. Therum Furum. Nice to see you're up in the day.
What you wish done?
I've come from Nashkel. I found this vial in one of the kobolds lurking in the mines. I think it might be what's causing the iron to break. You found it. Just like that. Well, that certainly does illuminate things, doesn't it? I thought maybe you could use it to find a way to reverse the effects. I couldn't, no. But I know someone who can. Give me a few days and I should get some results. Cool. Show me what you got for sale. Alrighty. Short bow +1, dagger, darts, sling. The sling is +1. That might be a good one. Let's see. Heavy and light cross. Actually, I should look at the things you can use. Okay, so you can't really get any of the cool armor. Quarterstaff might be useful for you. Alright, let's do the identity thing. It costs like 100, like I have 100 gold, quite frankly. Alright, so the first one is Harrower 1, which has a +1. It's a Thaco of +1, and then +3 against the undead. It's a D8 +1 with a +3 against the undead. Slashing, longsword, one-handed. Nice. And the leather armor is Protector of the Second. Nice. Armor class 6. 8 against piercing and missile. We're an elite group of elven archers that roam the... Okay, cool. The Protector of the Second will go to what's-a-whoosies, ladies. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Sling is Thaco +1. And then sling is just any normal sling. +1 is 1d4, and then it's 1d4. Shame she cannot use any of that shit. All right. Now, first and foremost, this will go to Imoen. This will go to you. So you will wear the cooler armor. Wait. Yep. So that gets her Thaco. So that gets the armor to 2. She's currently a 4 right now, but that's because she can't really wear anything better. Howler is not that much stronger. So you're just gonna hold on to that shit. But it is at least better than your longsword. What do you got? Okay, your Thaco is 16. Oh, you can wear Splint. Oh, that's really good. Alright. Cool. No one else can really wear the chainmail. Yeah, your quarterstaff doesn't really do that much. Neat. Neat. Wait, what kind of sword is this? Oh, that's a +1 bastard sword. Interestingly, my armor class would go down to 2, but the Thaco is a problem. I'll give the bastard sword to you. Do you have a benefit to it? No. Because Varskona +2 is a better sword for you. And I do not have the gear for it. Alright. Moving on.
Way ahead of you, boss.
So, he will tell us more in a few days. It's day 14. Wait. In a couple of days, if he's found a way to reverse the effects. So that's day 18. Head is stolen by a batch of Telsloi in the Cloakwood. Alright. Larswood or Pelsveld next. It appears attack from there and are related to the iron shortage. There could be a hideaway. Alright. I believe there was a map for this one. So then that way I had the right way around. So, chapter 3. Chapter 3, there we go. Additionally, you can explore and talk to one of the bandit groups and ask to join. They'll take you there to the bandit with a... What? Leave through the north, kill Nimble, then go to Baragos, talk to the old man, get to the Baragos Inn, go to the stairs, find Tanzig's room, leave, go to the Friendly Arms Inn. Okay, so now we go to the Friendly Arms Inn. Fuck's sake. The fuck are these things?
Top of my to-do list.
Go for the eyes, fool! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
Top
There
of
we
my
go.
to-do list.
Quick save there. So once it's going back to the Friendly Arm Inn, this time exit to the right. Oh, okay. Oh, Kiaru, are you still here? Excuse me.
You must gather your party before venturing forth.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
You know, just light reading. Alright, I need to clear up her spells and go for... I'll go for at least one identify. Armor and... Let's go with Chromatic Orb, actually. You have no spells. I don't know why you can do that. You've got nothing. Alright. You've got so far Blessing, 2 Lesser Heals, a Doom, and Entangle. You've got nothing. I've got nothing. Alrighty. Who's this Nira?
Oh, so now you come back? After making me walk all the way here by myself? Typical. And I thought wild magic was unreliable.
It is. Excuse me. Well, it's good to know that she's there.
Venturing forth.
Everything with you. Everything with you.
Top of my to-do list.
Sorry, I was just reviewing the map again. Because it looks like, because on the in the strategy guide, this might be what Kiaru was talking about as well, is apparently somewhere around here there's a ring. Up. Yep, a ring. Bards and sages pass down the thing. Okay, so that's for the... Okay, so the histories are not that important. Okay. Damn it, she can't identify shit. Quick save. So then that way I don't have to chase after that ring again. How is your evening going, Sky? It's like, what, 4 or 5 in the morning for you right now? It's like really late for you, isn't it? Perdival's traveling.
Yeah,
16
I'll get right on
hours
that.
to get here. I should have rested.
No!
You got this coming!
I'll always am.
God damn these elites.
What you got for me this time? Yeah? What do you want?
Ooh, bandit scalps. Those will be useful. Alrighty, so he's got 2 of the bandit scalps. Longbow. Yep, that's a much better Thalco, which is what we want. Annoyingly enough, she can't do anything.
If none are better.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Way ahead of you, boss. $50 gold for a scalp seems pretty good.
for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alrighty. So we gotta go to the right. We gotta be mindful of bandits.
For the fallen!
Must rest. Another bad case of armor, chief.
Also, I should probably consult the map once again. Chapter 3. Oh, there was someone up that way. Oh. The fuck are flinged?
For the fallen!
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Ah!
Alrighty, hang on a second. You will get a health potion. And you give that back, so I can drink the health potion. Yep, you're doing... Actually, you're not doing too crazy on arrows, so... And you get a boost as well, going back to me. There we go. Two-handed swords. Not really all that good with the current equipment we have. Alrighty. Just been consulting... God fucking damn you.
My blade will cut... My blade will cut you down to size.
Long sword, longbow. It's a shame Giora can't use the longbow. Would have been a lot more helpful than what she currently has.
Help me! If you don't help me, you'll kill me!
Thank you so much. Alright.
I serve the flaming fist!
Step aside, the woman you are harboring is wanted for the murder of the foulest sort. She's a dark elf. It should be obvious that she is evil. You'll have to get through us if you want her. Don't be foolish. I represent the law of this region. By protecting her, you'll be guilty as she. I guess that's too bad for us.
For the fallen!
There we go. Easy. Let's see. You're wearing full plate. You're not wearing full plate, so you will benefit from that shit. Fatigue. So he's got fatigue. Oh! Alright, so long swords and long bows. I am going to give him a higher proficiency in longbows, so then that way he gets a +1 to hit and the +2 to damage, because we're doing that quite a bit. So that will be good for him. No one else is close to leveling. I hope this woman...
madness!
I hope this woman understands I saved her life. Thank you. I know you may not be willing to give me a chance because of my dark skin. I am a drow. But if you give me a chance, you won't regret it. Can I join? I need friends. We'll need... So, of course, we'll take you in.
What you got for me this way ahead of you, boss?
Excuse me. I don't know which... And then, yep, we killed those guys previously with the bastard swords. Yeah, I did misclick. But I wasn't going to put her into my party. Like, here's the thing. Like, I wish it was similar to you know, because this is made by BioWare. And I feel like BioWare made the right decision of making it so that you can go, like, as you go into, like, different areas and different encounters, you have the option to swap your party members. There's none of this backtracking to where you previously had them or anything like that. There's none of that nonsense. There's just a case of, hey, you're about to go into this kind of area which has this kind of like arc to it. Who do you want to take with you in your party? I much rather prefer that than this, you know...
Calm your rice paddy.
Fine, I'll calm down. Rather than this whole, you know, pick who you want. And because right now I'm not really interested in, you know, breaking up my party, especially since a mix of them are holding on to equipment and shit. We are adventurers. You're adventurers. I used to have an uncle who thought of himself as some kind of hero. He had the sword, shield, the whole bit, but he got himself killed, see? He was going off to kill some sort of bestie with all of his buddies.
Don't make me send you to Jesus myself.
But something went terribly wrong. I guess this beastie figured out he was coming and set up a trap for him and his friends. So anyhow, there are him and his buddies trudging through the wilderness on their way to the monster lair, and then all of a sudden, bam! Smack! The monster leaps out and starts ripping off arms and legs. When my pop found his brother, there was nothing left but a big pile of rotten meat.
Icy is cute, uwu.
Oh yeah, I have lots of advice about adventuring. If you want to get rich, the best place to go would be probably the ruins of the Firewiring Bridge. If you want some action, why don't you give back some of that trouble those bands have been dishing out on the coastway? Cool! I am not gonna bother with that side quest.
Quote 400. As you can see, I am not wearing panties.
For the fallen! Not in this.
It's your choice which hits the ground first. Your swords or your head. Be smart now. You'll all live to grow wise. You'll not take us alive.
Oh, I'm really not in this.
For the group. I fear you here, lest I not survive.
Oh, I'm really not in this.
There we go.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Wait, what is she using right now? Oh, she can use a longbow if she wants. Let's see, short bow, short bow, short. Pick up the warhammer while you're at it. Nope, everything here seems to be a short bow of some sort. Alrighty. Sorry, I'm just doing inventory shit. Oh yeah, I can give him the... Damn it, I can't change during combat.
This way.
Top of my to-do list.
Wait, can she wear chainmail? No, she cannot.
Decency is refreshing.
He's already, like, you know, decked out in build. She's nearly dead.
Oh, thank you.
Top of my to-do list.
Alrighty. Thank you, Furry Cures, for the quote. Alrighty. Now I just need to get out of this damn forest. A wood of sharp teeth. Oh boy.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rask! Ah!
Alright, so I quick saved. I'm going to rest to try and recover some whatsamahoozies. And I'm gonna... should hopefully get a spell slot back so I can... like, identify one of the magical items I picked up.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Easy.
Yeah? What do you want?
Alright, there you go. And then... I don't need these books. It was a mistake to get them. And I have those arrows. Alright, so you're wearing full plank, you're wearing splint, you can't wear any more kind of stuff. Is there anything cool about the different helmets? Not really. Can you wear a helmet? Hey, you can wear a helmet. Alright. Here you go. That should help, you know, protect against criticals.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alrighty. Let's go up this way, because I think we have to go north, and then we can get into our thingamadiggy. Alrighty, let's have a look. Deadly.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, let's not disrupt the bears. Alright, a road should be good. Damn it, no one really has like a healing spell right now.
I'll get right on that.
Actually... Damn it, hide in shadows. Failed.
Top of my to-do list.
I was hoping I could, like, hide, but apparently not.
I fear I need healing, lest I not survive.
Okay, that's a problem. The one person who would have healing is this lady, but she has none of that right now. What do you've got? Magic blocking, fiery oils, power... Wait, what does power do? Sets to 80% of current base, 20% hit points, lasts for 4 turns. That's not a lot of time. What do you got? Invisibility. You got nothing. Oh, you got healing. That's good. That's actually good. All right, here we go.
Huh?
There we go.
You, boss.
That's better. Now we're not in so much danger. Let me try this again. Leaving in shadows.
1221 thinks you should do 20 squats.
I'm gone.
Zeebs is a cutie.
You cannot prove that.
This group shows promise exceptional.
Alrighty, hang on.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alrighty, let me do the... Let's do the 20 squats then.
Zeebs is a cutie.
I'm not a cutie! Stop saying that, Blue! Stop saying that! Alright, here we go. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Thank you for the 20 squats. Thank you for the 20 squats. Alrighty.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
My blade will cut you down to size. My blade will cut you down to size.
Damn it.
Jahira! No!
Top of my to-do list.
Okay. Let's have a look.
You got this coming! My heart's really not in this. Oh, my heart's really not in.
Damn it.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
You got this coming!
As good as done.
My blade will cut you down to size. My blade will cut you down to size.
for the group.
Wait, who had the... You had the potions. There we go. Alright, hand it to you. Drink.
Nature's servant awaits.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Choose your friends wisely. Not all are as trustworthy as needs can.
Alright, which one has... Okay, you have the scalps? Alright, cool. You can pick up extra things. Protection from petrification sounds good.
Yeah? Top of my to-do list.
My blade will cut you down to size. My blade will cut you down to size.
You got this coming! I'm really not in this.
My blade will cut you down to size.
We're gonna need to rest because I can hear everyone giving their, like, fatigue message. It's not too great to hear fatigue going off. Alright. So yeah, you're holding on to all those scalps. Gem goes to you.
Calm your
Scroll
eyes,
goes to
Paddy.
you. Alright. Write down that magic. Identify... we don't have any way of identifying because we used all our magics. There we go.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, let's see what's in here.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Flame Arrow. Interesting, a new spell. I can't use that spell, but it's interesting nonetheless. Dagger and longsword, neither of those are useful for me. Oh, Jesus Christ. I pressed Q and then I pressed L. That could have been a lot more problematic if I didn't press the right. All right, level up. Here we go. Let's see. We can't increase our proficiency of the short sword.
That's it. I'm gonna spit in your mouth.
So we're gonna increase the proficiency of our short bow because that's what we're using right now. And then... Finding traps is 60, moving silently is 25, hiding in the shadows is 40, detecting illusions. Alrighty, and then you can't level up, you can't level up, you can't level up, you can level up. Let's make you more proficient with the longbow. And, alright.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Quick save as we go into here.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Now that is what we call a skill issue.
Alright! I'm really not in this.
There we go. Nothing in there. Hi there, where's my... Your nickname is no longer on my list, so it just says Ryan Void, but no, it's something... Leon, that's it. That's the name. How is it going? Hopefully you're doing well.
Yeah? What do you want? Top of my to-do list.
Alright, hang on a second. Open container. Put that in the container. And then grab this. Open this container again so I can add in the necklace. Alrighty. Spell. Fire arrow goes to you for you to write down. So now it's in your magic book. What is this heroism one? Imbued with a powerful that will stimulate a temporary increase in level. This effect lasts for 2 hours. Oh. Knees. How is it going? You're not forgettable. It's just you changed your name like a while ago, and I had it like I'm really bad with names, so that's why I did the whole like writing it all, like having it as the thingamadiggy on like Leon Hart. That's it. Alrighty, I'm gonna write that back on right now. So parentheses, Leon Hart. There we go. I remembered. You're not forgotten. Nothing about you is forgotten. All right, first and foremost, also, you're meant to go into the second slot. And then you go into the second slot now. So that's a longbow with a longbow. Oh, you can't use a longbow. Okay, well, that's a waste of a longbow then. That's going in the trash. You can hold on to some of this stuff. Yep, you're holding on to the scalps. I'm gonna give you the rings. So then that way... There we go. God, that's a lot of potions. Alright, so you can hold on to more of the arrows. So then that way all the arrows are all in like one spot. What kind of potion is this? Oil of speed. Ah, okay. Well, that's not a potion, that's oil.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Alrighty. Let us see. Ooh, what kind of sword? Oh, that's just a normal two-handed. Alright, quick save. Now, let us see if we can rest in here. You may not rest here. God damn you.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Squeaky wheel gets the kick. Full plate and packing steel.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, let's see what's in here then.
You be quiet.
My blade will cut you down to size.
I love how he shouts, "You be quiet," and dead.
Top of my to-do list.
You haven't changed your name since April? That is fair. It's just for a very long time, I just have to...
I must rest.
Yeah.
Have a bad case of armor chief.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Short sword and long sword. Again, we can't rest in here. Another oil of speed. Alright. So, you will hold on to the... Yeah, you got room to hold things. Antidote, you can hold on to that. Clarity, agility. You go into there. Cold resistance of Hill Giant strength. Maybe that'll go into you. Potion of Fortitude. What is this one? Will cause a surge of energy, setting the drinker's constitution to 18. Oh. Interesting. Alrighty.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Alright, quick save there. We are not going in that cave.
For the fallen!
Hey! There we go. Still love you though, Grant. Thank you for the hugs. I greatly appreciate it.
Nature's servant awaits.
Alright, you go into that guy's slot. Chromatic orb, you already know. thank you for the hyper himbo. I greatly appreciate it. Awesome. All right, so you're not holding on to much stuff, so you will hold on to all this.
Top of my to-do list.
Top of my to-do list.
For the fun!
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes!
I feel so good.
Calm your rice paddy.
You calm your rice paddy. Alrighty. God, so many people are nearly dead. The minute they come in sight, we're gonna fire on them again.
You got this going!
Another friend.
Damn it.
Does it never
Way
end?
ahead of you, boss.
Alrighty.
You got this coming! You got this coming!
And then you are gonna pick up these 2 arrows. Might as well pick up the scroll while we're at it. Alright, quick save was successful. There is going to be a lot of save scumming in this little expedition.
Yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
All right. For the fallen!
As you direct.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes!
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
All right. And I fear I need healing, lest I not survive.
Ooh, boy.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Gosh, she's hopeless.
My heart's really not in this.
For the group.
Top of my to-do list.
You got this coming!
I fear I need healing.
Go for the eyes, Boo!
Really
Go for the eyes!
You got this coming!
I fear I need healing.
Oh, god damn it.
Go for the
Another friend.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Does it never end?
As you direct.
Oh, my heart's really not in this.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Ding dong. Alrighty, here we go.
You got this coming! You got this coming!
Way ahead of you, boss?
Nature is as good as done.
Way ahead of you, boss.
How did he survive all that?
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
There we go. Nice. So many people level up now. All right, level up you. All right, short bow can't get increased. Single weapon is for characters who do not wish to use a shield but want to show bonus when using a one-handed melee weapon. Allows the character to use 2 melee weapons at the same time with fewer penalties. A character wielding 2 weapons without a slot in his fighting style would incur a -4 in the attack with an 8 proficiency. Okay, so yeah, that's not going to be your thing. Can I forgo like putting a thingy-majiggy in here? Because I guess. Fine, let's go single thingy-majiggy, and then find traps. You will go as high as you can. 85 should be good. Level up you. All right, so club. All right, cool. It's a good thing I gave you club, so then that way your Thaco was a lot higher there. Single. Actually, no, you're not single weapon. You're sword and shield right now. Anyone can pick up a shield and get its basic protection bonuses, but by spending slots on this fighting style, an adventurer can maximize the benefits. The wielder gets a -2 bonus to AC against missile weapons. Despite the name, any one-handed weapon in combination with a sword will receive... Yep, cool, awesome. That's what we want. No one else gets anything else from it. That's fine.
Thy decency is refreshing. So many
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
lacking.
Why do I have to click the additional button, honestly? Alrighty, awesome. So, inventory. Healing potion 1 is going to go to you, for you to drink. And then healing potion will go to you next, because you're on front lines a lot of the time. Yep, so that nearly heals you.
Top of my to-do list.
Alrighty, please do not get... Yep, there we go. Arrow. Another arrow. Alright, so you're holding on to all of the scalps.
I must rest. A bad case of armor change. Cool one, sir.
Alrighty, let's have a look. Full plate armor. Alright, so you're on 2. You can't wear any of that. You're on 1. You're on 3. So that would put you on 0. I'm gonna give it to you, because you very much need as low of a Thaco, because you have no way of doing, like, range stuff. Oh yeah, this is Splint, so... We've already moved away from the use of Splint a long while ago. You were just, like, one of the last. You don't use the short sword. Or the short bow. Alright, so right now you got a shield. Alright, you, meanwhile. So there's a medium shield here. No one else wears the Splint. So we'll put that away. Alrighty. Alright. Should be good.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
For the group.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rusk!
This is a problem. I am so close to death.
You got this coming!
Not in this.
Please, just let me save. There we go. All right. Ooh, composite. Who can use the composite? Most likely you. All right, let's have a look. So, composite bow right now. Thaco is 16, and yep, you're the one with like the proficiencies and what have you. So we'll drop that. You can hold on to that for now. There we go. You're good with arrows. All right. Just gonna give you some of this shit. And we don't really have anything good for you.
Camaraderie, adventure.
Yeah? What do you want?
Steel on steel. The stuff of legend.
Top
Right,
of my
Boo?
to-do list.
Lol, Boo's actually talking right now. Alrighty.
Hello.
My blood.
Alright, time to see if there's any other potions of healing. There's gotta be something around here.
Go for the eyes, Boo! Go for the eyes! Rask!
So passionate. Oh, so passionate. Alrighty, chest unlock. Welcome back, Code. Sorry it's not like, you know, all that fun right now. Cool. Just unlock it automatically, please. Another short sword. Nothing in you. Dun, 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 dun. We are getting so much fucking gold. Alright, hang on a second. You can hold on to that. You can hold on to this and that. You're holding on to the scalps for now. There's our thingy-majiggy there. How is it going, Code, in all of this mayhem?
Hello.
Hello. Locked, because of course we need to open it first. I just need throwing daggers. Where can I put throwing daggers? God, the Thaco turns to shit.
Huh?
Alright, quick save that. How is dinner? I just realized now why you might have been going like, hello. Alrighty. So we need to go into the big hut now. And I don't really have any good means of healing myself right now. Actually, hang on a second. One of these is a Wand of Magic Missile. You can go for the Wand of Magic Missile. Alrighty. Quick save here, and into it we go.
Sorry, friend, but you've got a date down.
I don't care who you are. No one's to enter Tazorik's nest tent under death, under penalty of death. Then come at me.
All right.
My heart's really not in this.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Oh my god, I'm nearly dead.
Top of my to-do list.
What is everyone doing?
Forward march! There's no one!
I fear I need healing. Lest I not survive. I fear I need healing.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Lest
Load the quick save. Alright. Will it let me rest here? Oh, it will let me rest there. Great. Let's see. What are the chances of me getting absolutely clobbered? Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Excellent. Awesome. Alright, cool. So she cast armor on herself. There was healing done. R.I.T. Alright, hang on a sec. Warhammer is a one-handed weapon. Alright, I'm gonna give the ring to you to identify. There we go. Can memorize double the amount of level 1 spells. Alright. Very much your thing. Yep, so much more. Alright, so 2 of that. And 2 magic missiles. Quick save. Can we rest again is the question. Hi there, Guilty. I am playing a very poor sort of D&D game. Like, my first Dungeons & Dragons game was not the Baldur's Gate or anything from BioWare. It was from Atari. It was the whatsamahoozies. It was the Dragon Age Heroes. It was on the Xbox. It was a lot more fun than this. Alrighty, F2 to get rid of you.
Oh, my
Sorry,
heart
friend,
is really not in this.
but you've got a date down under.
My
for the
blade
ice
will
boot.
cut you down to size.
You got this coming! You got this
My heart's really
coming!
not in this.
Come on. The fuck is with that head in the... Oh my god.
Forward march!
You better take a...
Spare no one!
There we go.
Spare no one! Spare no one!
There we go. Alrighty. Ring. Oh, inventory is full. Alright. Throw you into there. Throw the potions over to you. Oh, inventory is full now. Shield and want. Again, inventory is full. I forgot. What the fuck do you have? You have a lot of spells. You can carry a few more things. You've got 6 more slots. You got a lot more slots. Actually, I can give you the potions. Because you can't carry too much, but it will be worthwhile. And plus, who knows? Maybe with all our potions in one location, we'll figure out, like, how much of it is, like, you know, high numbers. And then I can give this wand to you. Alright, now I just need to wait for the poison damage to be done.
Top of my to-do list, yeah? What do you want? Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Don't mind me. Of course she uses the healing spell. Alright, you can pick up way more spells now. And those robes will be very useful for you if you can identify them.
Can I...
You're holding on to many of the composite... Okay, so you can't use the composite longbow. Neither can you. Only you. You can't use any of that. You can't use any of that. And I can't use any of that. Real shame.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Woo! 400 gold. Alrighty. Baldur's Gate is legend. I would love to believe that, but it's not becoming my cup of tea right now. Alrighty.
What you got for me this time?
Actually, can I ding Cure Light? Wait, that's a thing I have? Jesus.
Ah!
Setting snare has failed. Oh, of course it has.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
It's time then, isn't it? Time for what? Explain yourself. My execution. What do you think? You're not with them, are you, though? No, I'd smell his rancid breath on you if you were. You're right. We're not Tazok's lackeys. What's going on here? You're not. Well, this whole place is dirty to the core. That's what's going on. These aren't your ordinary bandits. They're part Black Talons and part Chill. Chill being a demi-human band, mostly hobgoblins, and led by that creepy smart one, Ardenor Crush. There be others elsewhere, like that priest Mullahay sent to poison the minds of Naskil, set himself up as a kobold god returned, and legions of the brainless barking fools believed him, ready to do his bidding till death do they part. Malahi's dead. He was working for Tazok. Tazok, I understand. Question is, who's Tazok working for? That's the trick, see? Crush and Urgos Koshan, leader of the Black Talons. Both think he's getting orders from the Zents, and Tazok doesn't do much to discourage that particular line of thinking. But the Black Talons and Chill are bandit groups, see? They ply the trade routes, avoid the cities, and that's where they go wrong. I'm from the Gate, and I can tell you dead as leather that the Xantarim aren't behind this. How can you be so sure? A desire for silence isn't the only reason I wear soft-soled shoes. I wear them so I can tell whose toes I'm treading on. I didn't mess with no Xantarim. I picked up my enemies and messed with one group and one group only. The Iron Throne. And right as rain, here I am as Tazok's personal prisoner. You do the math. The Iron Throne. Where can I find them? Tazok's been making regular visits to the Cloakwood, and so that's where I'd start if I were you. There are some documents in that chest that might be worth taking a look at too. Now go step on some toes. That was alright, and you can tell him that Ender Sai sent you. Nice! I can see the red chest being a problem. Trap disarmed. Dunk. Gauntlets. Thank you. I have noticed that your shipment of iron has slowed of late. It is imperative that we receive another ton of ore. Set up your raid and get a shipment to our base in Cloakwood within the next week. We need to stockpile as much ore as possible before our ultimatum is given. Also, Sarah Vok wants to know what has happened with the band of mercenaries. Have they been killed? You had better ensure that they have been, as Sarah Vok will not take kindly to any other news. I hope that everything moves along smoothly. I have written to give you the instructions from our superiors. I have been told that a small band of mercenaries might cause the Iron Throne some trouble in the future. You are to ensure that they don't live to upset our operations. Obtain the services of the assassin Nimble. Thank you for the 69 bits code. Thank you.
This group shows promise.
We should serve you well. Alright. Alright, so I've already opened that. I've already checked that. There's really nothing more to pick up around here. Alright, quick save, and let's get out of here.
Top of my to-do list.
And there we go. So now we need to get to... I've discovered the bandit camp should belong to their leader, and within it I should be able to find documents that reveal who pulls the strings. Yeah, I did get the... Did it not accept that? And how dare you steal my shirt? Alrighty, you... No, inventory full. Write down the magic. Write down the magic. Write down the magic, and... Write down the magic.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Like, do I need to take the letters with me? Is that the idea?
Mullahay and Tazok
There we go. I had to take the letters.
More than puppets. The true master of this unfolding mystery continues to elude you. One thing is certain. Someone has taken a very personal interest in seeking your death. Though why, you are not sure. Your search for answers continues, and the foreboding Cloakwood Forest is your next target.
Excellent. I didn't mean to pick that up. Throw you into there, throw you into there. Alrighty then.
Yeah? What do you want?
What is she casting?
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Okay, so she's just casting armor on herself. Alright. Oh my gosh, I almost didn't get this guy.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Huh?
Oh my god, I have so many things I can't possibly use. Oh, actually I can put you away. You are gauntlets. I already have a pair of gauntlets on, so I'm gonna throw those gauntlets to you. God damn, 30. Oh, I can copy the note. That way I can just... That way I don't need to keep the notes, and... There we go. Wonderful. I don't need the longsword.
Yeah, I'll get right on that.
Quick save.
You have been waylaid by...
Oh my fucking god, wyverns.
For the fallen!
Thank Christ I quick saved before all this nonsense. If I somehow fucking survive this...
My heart's really not in this.
I need aid soon. My hamster.
Nope, didn't make it.
Way ahead of you, boss.
Did not make it.
Berserker will not go unremembered.
It would have been cool if I survived the wyverns, but I didn't.
Top of my to-do list.
Go for the eyes,
heart's
Boo.
really not
Go
in this.
for the eyes! Rusk!
The fuck is going on? Hi there, three-tailed kitsune. Welcome to the stream. Alright, hang on a sec. I need to scroll back up to see... Oh, okay, so that just puts me... So yeah, I am at the Friendly Arm Inn right now. I am where I need to be. Welcome to the stream. My shirt is missing because someone decided to steal my shirt. Hey, I got it back. Never mind. I'm good now.
My blade will cut you down to size.
Alrighty, put you in there, and you in there, and you in there. Sweet.
Good on you if you saved the day.
Thank you for the greetings and salutations. Not to worry. I very much appreciate when people, like, drop into the chat and say hi at the very least, because then that way, A, it means that, you know, I am actually online and such like that. I'm not just talking to a void or anything like that. And, you know, maybe there'll be some cool news that I'll hear from you. Hi there, Blue. No, do not shout me out in my own stream. You go suck a lemon. You go suck a lemon yourself. Someone shout out Blue. Someone do exclamation point clip shout out. So exclamation point CSO. How's it going, Blue? I know I'm playing Baldur's Gate, but what were you playing? Also, Tony Abbott.
GrantZeebs, freaking that fucker, Devil Jin, has its own campaign. What was the conditions to get him? It's either do the freaking side story or
beat the side story or do like 200 versus games.
Why did I hear my name then? There is more than one kind of Musk in this world. Oh, yes, that one. It's not just, you know, Elon Musk or Stinky Musk. It's like a floral thing to eat. So, and they got like different kinds of flavors as well of like the different fruits. Have you heard of Musk Sticks, Blue? My personal in your 7 years of culinary experience in the magical world of Disneyland, did you hear about Musk Sticks? Musk stick eater. Hey, fuck, there's nothing wrong with musk sticks, okay? I just don't have them on my throne or anything like that.
Stay thy course a moment to indulge an old man.
Well met, young one. I trust that thou art well. I have heard many things about thee in the past few 10 days, and I am most impressed. Are you following me, old man? Only through tales and stories, I assure thee, though art the subject around many tables lately. I am... Ow. Thank you for the 50 bits. I greatly appreciate it. Here we go. The video didn't play! Hang on. Just fucking throwing it down on the ground. It's fantastic. Only through tales and stories, I assure thee. Thou art the subject around many tables lately, and I am quite sure that the majority of rumors are more or less true, much as I would have done, though the methods may have differed. No doubt the clues unearthed so far have pointed thee in the same direction I would have concluded as well. Thou dost possess a gifted nature, and I am sure that thou wilt make good use of this. We have David Tennant as an MTG card if you saw it in the group chat. No, I didn't see it in the group chat. I have not gone into... It has been so long since I've done Magic the Gathering nonsense. Let's see. Guff rewrites history. Of course he does. The TARDIS. The 10th Doctor. Lol, look at that Z looking. And then... 10th Doctor is a red and a blue. And then Rose Tyler is a white. And they're introducing something called Doctor's Companion. You can have two commanders if the other is a doctor. Just do fucking partner. Why? Why are they like just let it work with previous sets by just being like, "Oh yeah, here's a..." Like, they're just partner. Why do you have to do this Doctor's Companion nonsense? But just, where would you go next? As thou hast no doubt determined, the clues seem to point towards the Cloakwood Forest. 'Tis likely that the scoundrels behind the bandits have some sort of base within the wood. Of course, I am only telling thee that thou dost already know. Good luck on thy travels, young one. Be wary as well, for thou art making powerful enemies, both here and within thyself. I am sorry I cannot speak more plainly on this matter, but events must unfold as they will without any meddling from the old man. Thank you, old man. Once again, I run into Elminister, and once again, he gives me a puzzling thingamadoogs. So this is why they have friends forever instead.
Way ahead of you, boss.
It's like how giving Stranger Things partner would be too good. Are they just like making up?
Inn is open to all who behave themselves.
I feel like rather than having them part of the standard rotation and, you know, thinking whether or not it will work for the standard rotation, they're just like, oh, fuck the standard rotation. It's not going to go into there. It's going to go into modern rotation. But then they fuck up even further because it's like, if they use any of the flavor text modern is looking for, holy shit, it's going to ruin stuff. So now they're just like, oh, how do we make it so that it's only as good as like the quote-unquote standard rotation without doing the thinking of the standard rotation? And then they were just like, I have an idea. We'll just make up keywords all over again and then just make it so that the keyword is only applicable to the set they're released in. You know, down that way, unless you're willing to, like, you know, buy into a whole lot of it and experiment with it a lot more than we're willing to, then they can possibly find something overpowered. And they're like, excellent work, Jeeves. The internet has never come together and try and ruin the fun in a card game. Nice work. Good work. Legacy is also a big problem. Yeah. Legacy humans used Rick from The Walking Dead. Yeah, no, I've heard of that. I've heard of Rick being like, that was when they introduced, like, that was, I remember when they introduced The Walking Dead in Secret Lair, and they were like, oh yeah, this is like modern legal. And it wasn't silver border or anything. And it was like, there was nothing that made them like similar to mechanically to another card that was already in rotation. It was like their own mechanical flavor. And so many people were so upset that even the guy from Commander's Quarters was like, oh, rather than continue playing Commander, I am going to create an entirely new format, which is pretty much the same as Commander, but is called Captain instead. And it will be exactly like Commander, except the ruling committee will not be the Commander committee, it will be our own committee. That did not span very far. Alright, what do you have to sell to me's? Alright. Stinking Cloud. Actually, Stinking Cloud. The necklace. 2 necklaces, sell those. Alright, what do you got? Oil of Speed. Gauntlets. Darts. I'll give you the +1 Bastard Sword. It's not like I'm using it. We already got Chromatic Orb. So we'll sell those. Burning Hands, Charm Person, Infovision, Sleep. I'll keep the Magic Missiles. Alright, done. Inventory. Can you identify... Yes, you can. Awesome. A wand of fear strikes terrors into the heart of any creature within its target area. Thus, this panic is not universal, however, as the stout of heart have been able to resist its magic. Like all wands, the wand of fear can only be used a limited number of times before it is destroyed. It causes an enemy to run in fear unless they save against the spells. Needies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Alright, so I got one more identify. So... Alright. Let's go for this Warhammer. +1. Well, that's to be expected. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That way...
Directed.
It's been dreadful.
Way ahead of you, boss.
That way we'll just, you know, use the peasants' quarters.
We're startled out of sleep with a chill.
Ooh.
Though the night is warm and
Commander
calm.
quarters went downhill as a content creator.
Walked across your
yeah,
grave,
like...
And for a moment,
I think that, like, I haven't looked at Commander's quarters for a while, and I think the reason why is, like, just really obviously that
swept into the dark.
he was someone in the Magic Command...
When light
Magic...
returns,
let me just wait for all this magic to be done.
Before you lay the empty mines of Nashkel, cleansed by your previous passage, you move through walls and floors alike, descending deeper and deeper, until a bloated figure comes into view. Mullahay, in no better shape than you left him, stands motionless before you.
Uh-huh.
Held from whatever afterlife calls it, this foul apparition has been waiting for you. A dagger of bone hovers before it, ready for a willing hand to drive it deep. Had this creature breath, you are sure it would be hurling curses.
I'm gonna drink a little more
Wait
Coke.
for the
Hang
kill,
on.
a death beyond death, and knows no hope.
Hmm.
You turn your back on the blade, and it clatters to the floor. Punishment enough shall find this creature in the land of the dead. You need not inflict any more upon him. Surprised and thankful, the visage of Mullahay hobbles forward and through you, off to whatever fate it deserves. Perhaps for safekeeping, it leaves a part of itself behind. It is a spark of hope that fills a space within you, a dagger-shaped hole you did not know was empty. There is a cry of rage from...
That dream made no fucking sense. Alrighty. Oh, hang on. Give this longbow. Identify the dead shot, +2. Longbow of marksmanship, the dead shot. Oh yeah, he keeps ranting and made a lot of content that wasn't what he made. He made less videos on making decks that were budget or made use of rarely known or used legendaries. Yeah. Here's my thoughts on him as a content creator as well. Like, just what I remember him doing, and, you know, and then like that whole captain business, is that something I distinctly recall with him as a content creator is that there wasn't that much collaboration between like him and other Magic the Gathering sort of players. Like, I did not like, granted, this is probably like, the Tellurian Community College is probably a very high bar to go for as far as like the pedigree of the Magic format. Probably not as high as like Game Nights with Josh Lee Kwai and Aaron, I think is his name, or the Josh Lee Kwai and I should know his name. What's his name? Fuck. Any whoosies, not important. The commander's quarters, meanwhile, didn't like he was just in his own bubble of like, oh, here's some janky decks that are able to do cheaply and such like that. Here's the problem, and he mentioned this like later on in one of his videos, which is why it probably like played into why his videos of like cheap decks couldn't work anymore. Is that many of the cards he was recommending, because of the fact that because you're working in a third-party marketplace, many of the cards he would recommend probably were no longer cheap because they were no longer going for like the more expensive, like, you know, command signet or what have you, and instead going for his Wayfarer's Bauble and such, which obviously, you know, because there's more demand for the common or uncommon card, it will increase the price will increase to help like stifle the demand for end of the card because of short supply. Like, that is just that's an economic problem in like trying to give, because basically what he was doing was he was giving financial advice to Magic the Gathering players, and a lot of his videos would slowly stop becoming relevant because a lot of his advice on what would be good cheap cards would no longer be cheap. Like Wayfarer's Bauble was like one of the quickest examples, strangely enough, in the span of like a few years. And in like during that change of like a lot of his, you know, decks would do it, it's like he doesn't do anything. He doesn't go with anyone else. He doesn't come up with a nice new like format. He doesn't experiment with his decks either. Like, we have not seen an example of him putting his money where his mouth is. People are dropping Wayfarer's Bauble. Well, yeah, no, because we're having way more different kind of mana rocks and fetch rocks to help, you know, supplement the Wayfarer's Bauble's purpose. Like, the benefit of mechanically similar cards is so then that way you can diversify your supply of, you know, the mechanic. That's why something like Command Signet was such an easy like buy on the go. Like, half the reason you might buy a commander's deck was so then that way you got Command Signet to throw into any of your other more powerful decks. So yeah, because meanwhile, Tellurian Community College, they were doing Because I'm amazed that there's only like 3 channels that do this well. There's only like 3 channels that do like the 4-player commander game, or 4-player or 2-player game. Like, you got your game night doing the 4-player, and it's always like as a big spectacle with a lot of CGI because it's going along with a what's-a-mahoozy, with a like a booster set that's being released or something. Tolarian Community College was able to come in and be like, oh, hey, we're going to be playing decks, and there's going to be maybe a little bit of a theme to it. And instead of it being like, there was still some like, CGI quality to it, because you needed to see the cards and they needed to make sure they're like readable and small, like effects and such. But they were much longer videos because you actually watched an entire game, and it was normally like half an hour to an hour, and there was just nice banter going off. There was none of this like Game of Survivor thing where it's like, oh, here's a 15-minute game that then gets pumped to 25 minutes because we include like commentary in between them. You never heard of MTG Mudfish? No, I have not. Blue, fun fact. All of my knowledge is ocean wide and pond deep. It does not go very. It goes far. Like I will probably find like some random nonsense about electrical engineering and the artificial zero. Fun fact, that's what my grandfather made. And then I could like jump over to the actual deconstruction of random thought from Inside Out is actually an accurate description of how your brain like clears out random thought and shit. But if you ask me to elaborate on any of this nonsense, it ain't happening. You're not gonna succeed on me telling you all this stuff. I don't watch game nights anymore because it's scripted as. Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing: is I feel like they're playing like 5 to 6 games, and then they're picking like the shortest one. That's what it feels like to me. Whereas with Tolarian Community College, the games are longer, but it feels like it's like they're probably doing 2 games, or even 3 games in the day that they have. Like, say for example, my favorite MTG content creator, who's probably not even 100% into MTG, but fuck it, Spice 8 Rack. They are my favorite of the content creators on YouTube, personally speaking as well. Like, just the description of like, what it was like watching the movie Cats, who they predict is gonna survive the MTG guild, the War of the Spark stuff. And then they did like a video about, the dangers of eugenics and how like, MTG with their, what's the character's name? The Thran dude. Yawgmoth and his like, eugenics nonsense. And how it's like, eugenics is like very racist and fascist, by the by. Do not trust in eugenics. Which is really problematic because, 1 or 2 of like the Magic the Gathering like protagonists and such are a result of eugenics. Oh, fun fact about eugenics. Come here. This is gonna shock your brains. One of the members of the band ABBA, they are a product of eugenics. They're a product of Nazi science trying to like breed the Aryan race. It was absolute craziness. All right, so we've checked that. Is there any? Oh yeah, these. Write that magic down. Identify with a spell. Gauntlets of weapon expertise. Imparting a portion of the king's legendary skill, they grant the bearer mastery over all forms of weapon. The majority of their many previous owners seem to have come to a bloody end. They cannot be worn by wizard slayers or kensei. Interesting. Oh my god. Any one of these can wear it. I am going to give it to Jaya, so then that way, I can give her better weapons. Warhammer +1. Short sword +1. Medium shield +1. Medium shield +1. Yeah, she gets down to Thaco -1 now. Alright. You would benefit from this bow. Wait, why doesn't it... What? Oh, it just gives Thaco +1, damage +1. Okay, so it just does that for her. It doesn't actually... Huh. Wait, what do my gauntlets do? Oh, fuck that. Hang on. Because I'm already, like, 18 on the fucking thingy-madoogies. Like, give them to me. Let me be the master expert. Yeah, look at that. Like, already, my Thaco is so much better. MTG... Okay, so MTG Mudstatch. I'm just gonna highlight that message. Copy, open a new tab in Google, paste it in there, so I got that for the readies. Alrighty. I thought she would have some cool weapons. Apparently not, you dick. Wait, who's holding all the... Oh, you're holding all the potions. Okay. Alright. Okay, so your armor class would go down to 1. The Thaco would be 16, but you would have a higher damage. Wait, wouldn't you benefit from... Wait, what's the difference? Armor class +1. Armor class +2 requires 12 strength. Strength. Okay, you should be good. What? Hang on. That doesn't make sense. Why isn't it going any lower? That's annoying. Thought it'd go lower. So that's medium shield +1. That's medium shield. Alright, so I'm gonna give the larger shield to you. Oh, that's right. I gotta identify all those, like, magic shit, too. Thank you for the lurk. Oh, wait, no, hang on. I still have another thing to identify. And I can't because I have not... I need to go to sleep again. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. There we go. Alrighty, inventory, back into here. Identify with the spell. Magic robes of fire resistance. I was hoping for something better, but sure. Alrighty. Wand. Arrows. Arrows. I can probably interpret what these arrows will do as well. They're not, you know, that surprising to me. Identify with Wand of Magic Missile. Dart of Wounding. Arrow of Ice. +1 arrows. Arrows of Fire +2. Alright, so Arrows of Ice I'm going to give to you. +1 arrows I'm going to give to you. Fire arrows I'm going to give to you, because why the hell not? darts. And... goddamn, 30... like... oh, actually, no. Darts could probably go to you instead. So then that way you've got some... there we go. Dart of wounding. That'll be a lot better. Nice. So she's -5 right now. With a THAC0 of 18. This would give her a THAC0 of 16. I guess... alrighty. Wait, what time is it? Oh! Oh, it's 9:30. It is a little bit late. Let's get the intro fighter back out. Save the game. Save it a new slot.
Your company is welcome.
It's... I don't know if I would play this game any further. Because every time I'm thinking back to it, it's like, I don't know, it just feels, way closer to a chore towards Baldur's Gate 3 than it does being like an actual, like, oh, like leading up to Baldur's Gate 3. Because, yeah, stuff about the combat, it's like, I'm stopping and starting it really commonly. Like, it feels like an RTS. And I feel like it shouldn't have to feel like an RTS in that regard, especially with like limited units and what have you. Like, as far as like it has the BioWare flavor in it, I will be real with you, with things such as, you know, just the slow intrigue of like, you know, you holding a purpose in this world, and, you know, some of the, you know, the side characters having personality and such like that. But obviously it's like, you know, a bit of a meme that it's Minsk that I'm remembering the most. But yeah, that's just my thoughts on the thing. I'd probably pick up an entirely different game until Baldur's Gate comes out. Baldur's Gate 3, I should say. So yeah, I think that's going to be the last time I play Baldur's Gate, to be real with you. Sorry if any of you were like looking forward to maybe like a lot bigger, like much longer like franchise, because I think it was Kiaru that was interested in me going through a lot more of Baldur's Gate like 1 and 2. I know Code has recommended Pathfinder and Netherwinter, but I don't have those games. I'm not 100%, you know, invested into grabbing those ones. And yeah, I'll need to have a look at what's in my like backlog, because I do have a few things. I could go into Dying Light 2, because that was one of the games I picked up. There was all these like graphical issues because, you know, small CPU for the game when I was doing other things in like 3D, like you see here. So there's a number of options there. I could go into Final Fantasy or Yakuza. There's a lot of options, and when it gets into August, we're definitely going to be going through Baldur's Gate 3. I'm going to be recruiting for friends, by the by, for Baldur's Gate 3. I've got Code with me on this one. I'm going to check in with Iraq if they're going to be interested in joining in as well. And maybe we can get a third person. And I think that would be
Thank
good.
you, Jason, for the 20-month Tier 1 sub.
Thank you so much for the Tier 1 sub. You don't have to deal with advertisement and get to have all these fun emotes. Hope you have a favorite among them. Hope you got a favorite. Alrighty. Before we all disappear for the night, let's have a look who is online to raid. Kofu is playing the Dragon Age Inquisition. Oh, if you want to see a good quality BioWare game, you want to go for this one. All right. Hang on a second. All right. So we're going to go with our classic raid message. Himbo raid. Show us your cutest guys, gals, and non-binary pals, or prepare to get swole. That's going to be our raid message for them. It's going to be fun watching them play a little bit of Dragon Age Inquisition before I go to bed. But otherwise, I want to say thank you everyone who came along to tonight's stream. I greatly appreciate it. I'm sorry I'm not going to be picking up more of Baldur's Gate until Baldur's Gate 3 is fully released, but I'll find what else to play, and otherwise, I will see you all next time. Bye for now.